Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. It's another Vanguard video for you today, and it's going to be about the Brandt Gate cards from set 2, Brush with Legends, of course. If you are new here, subscribe to the channel for more videos, I'll do them. And thank you to Sundial for your Simian level support. If you ever want to talk about these cards, by the way, you can check out my Discord server, which is linked in the description. Let's get started. So, first, we've got Cardinal Draco Alviderd. Continuous on rear. If your world is Dark Knight, it's a 12k attacker, which is only relevant on turn 2. And if it's Abyssal Dark Knight, which is basically when it's always going to be relevant, it's going to be a 15k attacker, which is nice. It'll make it 30 with the Shadow Army token, which means that you're going to be hitting that 28 annoying number. That is kind of, you know, forcing a lot of cards out of the hand, or one of the new front triggers. Auto on rear, at the end of the battle this unit attacked, retire a Shadow Army token, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. I really like this direction for Orfist, because in set 1, Orfist was the most obvious this is just sheer value. If you can outvalue your opponent, if you can just play good Vanguard, you should, in theory, win, as long as you're not playing against very unfair decks. Now, of course, there were, you know, Bruce and such that made that a little bit more difficult, but Orfist was a very cool deck, and I like this direction, because this is letting you... So, okay, understand, right? Like, Orfist basically reads Counterblast 2, go +3. And not just go +3, but like a really good +3 that also affects your deck building, which is awesome. But now you're able to use that Counterblast 2 to go +3 and convert it into other forms of advantage. So using this grade 2, we can retire targeted the opponent's rear guards. And that can be really good in some matchups and totally useless in others. It's going to be one of those things where Orfist is just going to reward a player skill. Is it worth retiring right now? Can I get away with not doing it? And so on. Very, very cool. I'm a big fan of this card. Now, how good is it? Nah, it's not like a straight up, you know, ridiculous value. Like if this said, you know, retire a Shadow Army token, retire 2 opponents' rear guards, I go, okay, so now I can turn my Counterblast 2 to go +3 into that Counterblast 2 to go +6, essentially, right? Which is like crazy. Or neg my opponent 6, but also I get attacks out of it, so it's really good. That would be nuts. I'm a big fan of this card anyway, and I really like Orfist as a deck. It's one of my favorites. I think like it's really, really fun. But yeah, okay. Next, we have Aurora Battle Princess Perio Turquoise. So there's another grade 2. Continues on rear during your turn. If 2 or more of your opponent's cards are in your prison, it gets 5k. That's very easy, but you're going to get 2. Cool, 15k attacker. Auto, front row rear. When your opponent's card is imprisoned in your prison... when your opponent's card imprisoned in your prison is placed on rear, so when they get it out, this unit gets +5k until the end of... that unit gets -5k until the end of the turn. Another really cool card. Now, we're starting to see some additional ways of getting value, because in set 1, the really big problem Seraph had was sort of twofold. 1, it was really easy to play around, and 2, I didn't really give a shit about my cards being in prison, because I could just Counterblast 1 and just get them back, and I didn't really lose anything. You know, I get to play my game plan kind of with a minor additional cost that I can very much just play, like, factor in. And I don't really care that I'm not going to be able to do everything I want to do, because you are not able to play 100% effectively. So this is really, really, really cool. You know, it also stacks if you've got 2 of them, right? -10k. Essentially reads they have 0 power, completely destroying opponent's ability to do damage out, but even -5k per card is big. You know, that's like a card every single time. This is a really, really cool card. Again, massive fan. Something that's definitely going to be helping Seraph out, I think. The one bad thing about the deck is the fact that kind of the grade 2 and above lineup is trouble right now. But yeah, very, very solid card. Next, we've got Aurora Battle Princess Derry Violet. When this is placed on Guardian Circle, if 1 or more of your opponent's cards are in your prison, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit by a grade 2 or lower unit's attack until the end of that battle. So another just really solid card here. Soul Blast 1 to PG. I believe units is like, it includes the Vanguard, so, you know, that's kind of nuts. Obviously, it's only grade 2 or lower attack, so it's like a PG for rearguard attacks, but, like, think about that, right? Like, you know, how... That's a lot of, like, the a lot of the kill, like threatening kill potential from these big decks, I'm thinking Bruce, it's grade 2s. You know, you can PG the Bruce, but then like they're big like rears with extra crits, and like, ah, shit, what do I do? Just do this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. If that's not how it works, then my bad. This card kind of sucks, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Cardinal, Noid, Thumbarino are grade 1 double rare here. Auto on rear, when it boosts a Shadow Army token, you may have this unit gain 15k until the end of the turn. So that will make it a 38k column. Okay. If you do, at the end of that battle, retire all your rear guards in the same column as this unit and draw a card. So let's think about that. I counterblast 2 to go +3 to get my Shadow Army tokens. Put 1 in the front row. I call this behind. I get a 38k swing, which is gigantic, for free at the time. Then I just have to retire all my rear guards in the same column at the end of the battle, and then I draw a card. So I get this card back. Essentially, I get like that advantage back. And the only thing I really lost there was the thing that I just counterblasted for to get anyway. I'm not saying this is something you want to do every turn, but like 38k that easily is so good. I feel like you gotta run this. This is so good. Maybe I'm crazy, but 38k column, and you draw the card at the end of it, and you lose it, and like, you know, against some decks you maybe even just want to lose that column. I think this is really good. I'm a massive fan of this card. I think it's really, really good. Gluttonic Monster Malnorm is another great one here. Act on rear once per turn. Discard a set order from your hand and countercharge 1. I'm pretty sure this is just better than Bobble Mine, strictly better than Bobble Mine in Orphist. Because like I mean, yeah, like you don't always want to be just playing down your, like maybe you get too many of your abyssals and you don't want to play them. This is like, you know, in Seraph you only really play 1 to 2 prisons anyway, so you're never really going to be able to use this. But this is just really nice, and it's an axe you can choose whenever, and you don't have to hit with it. So like sometimes you just won't have the counterblast for Orphist. Okay, well now you do. Another amazing card for Brandt Gate. Yeah, super strong, very good, like very helpful. Cardinal, Noid, Plastia, auto on rear. When this attack boosted by a Shadow Army token hits, draw a card. So it's a 28k swing that I draw on hit. Yes, please. Very good. Cardinal, Fang, Mariama. When this unit is placed on rear, look at the top 3 cards from your deck. Choose up to 1 world from among them, reveal it, put it in your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. I don't really think the deck needs this, to be honest. Like, it's a nice little consistency piece, but I don't really know if you want to be dedicating the space to it. You're already guaranteed 1, and you can just mulligan for the other. It's not hard. You play like 6, 7 anyway, so it's really likely you're going to get 1. Personally, I wouldn't waste the space. Cardinal, Prima, Ecolpa. Also on rear, when this unit attacks or boosts, if your world is Abyssal Dark Knight, retire a Shadow Army token and countercharge 1. Again, I'd much rather play the double red than this. I don't really want to be retiring the Shadow Army token for that. I mean, it's an option, but also it's kind of like I'd rather just play Bubble Line at that point, because like you're having to do it during the battle phase anyway. So yeah. Whimsical Machine Beast Bug Motor. Act on rear. If 1 or less of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, rest this unit, choose a unit card from your opponent's drop, and imprison it in your prison. So again, another very good prison card here. This is one that's like, it's just going to help you. Like, drop imprisoning is really nice because your opponent can't really stop it. If they're just playing the game, they are going to have cards in the drop zone, or they're just going to have a shit ton of damage, which is kind of good for you either way. It's sort of this, as well as the Festival Collection thing, that's, you know, that drop thing is really nice. It's going to help a lot. Very, very solid for the deck. I'm a big fan of this card. Cardinal, Draco, Enpiro. This is your front. That is a 20k shield. So, yep, if you're playing fronts, you're going to play this. Moment of Securing. Aurora Battle Princesses, 24 hours coverage. That's a great name. You play this with the cost of Soul Blast 1. If your opponent's hand has 4 or more cards, your opponent chooses a card from their hand and imprisons it in your prison. So immediately, oh baby, That's good. Then, if 3 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, choose one of your units, and it gets 5k until the end of the turn. Whatever on that. This is kind of like consistently just card from hand, card from hand, card from hand, card from hand. That's pretty nice. Now, realistically, I don't know if you'd want to be doing that all the time. You'd probably, like, the value in this is essentially going to be like ripping out your opponent's ability to guard. So I feel like this is probably more useful on a kill turn. But it's just like annoying as well. Like, your opponent is going to constantly have to be paying resources because, like, you think about it, right? It's a Soul Blast for you and a card from hand for you. It's also a card from hand for your opponent and a Soul Blast for your opponent to get it back. So it's like a wash, but it's really annoying, and it's going to turn your things online, which is sort of the main point here. It's turning your stuff online, which is why it's good. Is it a 4 of? Maybe? I'm not sure. I'd have to test, but it is good. Cardinal, Draco, Zelgio. Auto on rear. When this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1 and retire a Shadow Army token. Until the end of the battle, when your opponent would call cards from their hand to Guardian, they must call 2 or more at the same time. It's okay. Maybe a couple copies just for pressure, but again, it's sort of like... meh. Aurora, Battle Princess, Mel Horizon. Auto on rear. When this attacks a Vanguard, counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, imprison it in your prison, and this unit gets plus 5k until the end of the turn. It's okay. Yeah. Again, it's on attack, only on a Vanguard attack, and then you have to counterblast to do it. Not a massive fan. Hard Fist Dragon, Metal Knuckler Dragon. If you persona this turn, it's an 18k attacker. Meh. Twisting Bulldoze, auto on rear. When this unit attacks, if you have more rear guards than your opponent, counterblast 1, soul charge 1, and this unit gets 10k until the end of the battle. It could be nice. It could be nice. It feels like something I'd sort of maybe want to play more in a different deck later down the line than the current ones we have, because I don't think it's really necessary. But like, I think it's a decent option to sort of have available to you. Cardinal, Fang, Istallate. Auto on rear. At the end of each turn, if your world is Abyssal Dark Knight, both you and your opponent choose one of your own rear guards and retire them. This is either going to be dog shit or really, really good. Like, I feel like it's just something to test, but it's either going to force your opponent to, like, every turn it's on the field, like, you are going to be losing cards, but bearing in mind that you're all fist, you can literally just go counterblast 2 plus 3, so that's 3 turns worth of retires kind of already there, and you've also can just retire this as well. And your opponent is kind of doesn't have that. More than likely, they are just going to have to either not commit to field at all, or they're going to keep losing a rear guard every single turn. I think this is pretty good, but I guess I'd want to try it out to make sure. Aurora, Battle Princess, Biret Canary. When this is placed on rear, choose one of your opponent's imprisoned card in your prison and put it into their drop. Can't get it back. A roundabout targeted retire. I feel like you might want to just play a couple copies of this, just so if there's something you just really don't want your opponent getting back, you can, for very cheaply, just imprison it, and then you drop this and you go, okay, that goes to your drop, I don't want you having that, you can have the rest. I think this is a card you'll probably want to play at a couple copies for that option. Harmful Bite Monster, Zabakani, auto on rear. When its attack hits a Vanguard, if it was boosted, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, draw a card. Cardinal, Prima, Altepo. When this is placed on Guardian, if your world is Dark Knight, soul charge 1. If it's Abyssal Dark Knight, soul charge 2. Okay, cool. So now we have an amazing way to just get two free soul. And it's when it's placed on Guardian, so it's not even like a thing you have to commit it to board. Yeah, this card's pretty good. As long as if the deck needs this as a soul charging method, then you got it. Aurora, Battle Princess, Loaded Azalea. Continues on rear. During the battle, this unit boosted. If 2 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, it gets 5k. It's okay. Is there space for it? I mean, it's a 13k booster. It's just, a little 5k. Yeah, it's probably worth it. Seems decent. Aurora, Battle Princess, Whopper, Prune. When this is placed on rear, if 5 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, countercharge 1 or soul charge 3. 5? I don't know if you're ever really going to hit 5. I'll have to test the set 2 version, but set 1, that is a tall order. Whirlpool, Robo, Ramdrout. If you have a set order in your order zone, this gets intercept. That's cool. maybe it'll be a nice option, but Explosive Melting Heart. Play this with Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your opponent's attacking units and gets -5k until the end of the turn for each of your opponent's cards imprisoned in your prison. That is pretty cool. So essentially, as long as you have at least 3 cards in your prison, this is very much worth it. 2 cards in your prison, it's not great. You will have the soul, so it's not really a big deal. 3 cards in your prison, this is, you know, getting better. 4 or more, oh, this is some of the best value you can get in D format right now. Again, how consistent is that going to be? We're going to have to test, but very cool nonetheless. And finally, Eclipsed Moonlight, another set order. You play this with Counterblast 1. Auto, when this is placed into an order zone, call a Shadow Army token to rear, so it's Cannon Blasting 1, but you're getting a 15k unit, so that's good. Continuous in the order zone, it does the Dark Knight and Abyssal Dark Knights. So, do you want to play this card? Maybe. Now you have Draw a Card. You want to play Draw a Card. You have Retire an opponent's unit, and you have Gain this. This obviously costs a Counterblast. It's way less efficient than Orphist because you're playing a card from your hand and counterblasting to get a card on the field that's 15k, whereas Orphist is, you know, just counterblast you get 3 of them. I don't know that you'd really want to play this necessarily, but I will test. We will see. But yeah, overall opinions on Brandt Gate. I think it's all really solid stuff. The decks look a lot better. I think they definitely look much stronger relative to how good they were in set 1. Way better options. I would say especially Seraph looks significantly better. Orphist looks a bit better. Like, you know, it feels like it'll play much nicer. And I like the whole deal with the Shadow Army tokens. Very cool. And of course, you know, Seraph is our control deck. I love control decks. So yeah, I'm really excited to play these decks. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more of them. I've got 2 more of these set reviews coming up. If you haven't seen the previous ones, you can check those out, card in the top right hand corner. But that's it from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.